that sucks. Car needs a map sensor. Just happen to have one right here. Today I'm going to show you how to change this little guy and where to find it. So today we're going to be changing the map sensor on a E93 M3 2008. It's in the back. There seems to be no DIYs anywhere written out. There's no YouTube videos, so I figured, hey, let's do this together. Let's learn and teach other people. First thing we have to do, we have to remove this entire air box. Gotta remove this box, remove the spark plug holes to get to the box. And it's, like I said, it's gonna be on the very back right corner that I've seen from a diagram. Tools we'll need, we'll get there because I've never done this before. So we're gonna learn this together. I'll put the tools down in the description and explain them as I find out what I need. But let's get started. Okay, for the first step, remove this entire air box. It is 2 10s on the side. 1, 2. And then loosen this because you cannot pull it all out at one time. So you have to loosen this with a little flathead or probably an 8, I'm guessing, if you want to do it that way too. You gotta take this hose out. It's actually pretty simple. You see ridges at the top. There's also ridges at the bottom. Use like a C motion and push down on the middle, and then it comes right off. So let's get this air box out of here. Also remove this little guy. It's not connected to anything. It's just in the way. This is where your air comes from your kidney grills and into your box. That is a huge box. Just off that one single piece. 2 bolts. Look at all this extra room you got. Now we'll be removing these spark plug holes. They should just pull right off. Yes. Make sure you don't pull on this cord or whatever that is right now. I don't know what that is. Some type of hose. Oh, it's clamped in right here. That's why it's stuck. See, we're learning this together. Same thing for this side. And the hose on this side, it's like clamped in on a grommet, so you just pull it. I don't know if I can get this out with this box in the way. Okay, well, I'll just move that real quick. These are also 10s. Quick little zip. I'm not gonna remove this. I'm just gonna kind of guide it out of my way a little bit. See if I can get some more work room. And there you go. I gotta get this big intake box off. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you that hard. I'm sorry. I was really loud. There are 8. 8 cylinders. There's 8 little whatever you call them. Sorry, I'm not professional. There's 8, 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side. They should all be facing the same direction. This one's kind of hidden. I don't know if you can see it. That one's gonna be tricky to get to, but it's back there, and it should be same direction, also the same way. This side, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's dive in, see what we can do. Now for these, I'm not going to use a flathead because flatheads are a pain. So I'm going to use an extension with a 6. Don't zip too hard. I want to disconnect the thing completely. Just enough to loosen it up. Aim is terrible right now with one hand, sorry. we go. That's a little bit harder to get to. And the fourth one, I'm kind of going in blind here. All right, I'm about to put this down. Just to show you how blind you have to be on the last one. Again, not sure if you can see it on camera. Here is my extension. I'm not using the gun, I'm just gonna twist it. I'm on there, I can tell I'm on there, so I'm just twisting it by hand to loosen it up now. Again, this is the more difficult side with stuff in the way. You got hoses in the way, and you can still get there. It's just harder. Probably not gonna be able to use a gun on this side. There's not a lot of room either. So I'm just gonna grab my extension and manually connect with my hand and twist. And there we go. There's one. There's two. Should these be tighter? I mean, I don't think I have any intake leaks, but it's working. Okay, just to show you how blind I am, I had to go grab my flashlight. Hopefully you can see it. I'd help if I turn the flashlight on. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then now I'm on the fourth one. All you can see is my extension. So I had to do some guiding down here to reach it. And I'm on now, so now I tried hand twisting it. That one's tighter than the rest for some reason. So now I'm gonna use my socket and just put that on there, and I need 2 hands, but you get it. Okay, everything is loose. These do not have anything attached to it. It's just how it is. But before you pull this box off, you need to remove this sensor. To remove this sensor, you'll see the little metal ring outwards. Push it in, and while you're pushing it in, just plug it straight down, and there you go. So now let's remove the air box, which should be tight. And there you go. This is why I said we're learning together, man, because I've never done this before. Before you pull this thing off, which I already started to pull on, there's another hose in the very back right here. Another hose just like it was in the front with the little C grip. And you pull that off, and then you pull the box off. So there you go. Now you're halfway there. That's the hose you gotta pull off. It's connected right here. Cool. The map sensor is right here. I see it. Now to get to that, I have to remove this secondary air pump, and I don't know, we'll see soon, little buddy. Alright, so to remove the secondary air pump, you have 2 T30s right here on the edges. One, hard to take one out just to see if that was it. And this should, like a little C-clamp that holds it. And what else is connected to this? Okay, I figured out how to finally remove this. There's also 2 little tins on the side after the C-clamps. And they're like little rubber grommets that hold it all together. So get that out of there. Oh, thank God. And there you go. Now that comes forward to go out of the little grommet holes, and then I'm assuming upwards. Make sure you disconnect this hose. Again, another little C-clamp. They like these on this car. There is your secondary air pump. Now removing your secondary air pump. Remember, there's this C-clamp hose that's right on the side of it, which actually connects all the way to that hose that we unclipped earlier from the front. There's 2 harnesses. Not as easy as the other ones, but you just push them right here on the side. There's ridges on the side. Push them with your finger. They loosen, and then you pull them down. Same thing with this. Ridges on the side. Push them and pull them down. So now for the next step. Looks like I'm gonna have to remove this crap, because there's no way I can get anything in there. Why are you tucked away so far? Okay, so to remove this, I think it's just 410s, and hopefully it kind of moves at least out of the way. I don't know if I want to remove it completely. There are a lot of harnesses connected to this, and I'd rather not mess with harnesses if I don't have to, because I don't like electronics. But it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 10s. BMW sure do love their 10s, don't they? I also want to take a quick note that I hate working on cars. Like, I'm 33 years old now. It was fun when I was in my mid-20s or early 20s, but this gets on my nerves, hurts my back. I'm too old for this crap. But the reason I'm doing it is because the labor for this is like $600. The part is like $150. And when I got a project car I haven't touched in like 6 months, I figured I'd take that extra money and throw it into that. So this is where we're at. Another reason I decided to do this job myself is because getting this far is most of the job you need to get to the throttle actuators. E92 M3s have problems with throttle actuators. They randomly go out, and if they do, that's an expensive repair. The parts are like $800. The labor, about, I don't know, the same. So if it ever happens, I want to know how to do it myself. So this is also why I'm doing it, because it's the same process. It's just right under this wiring harness. Okay, yeah, this doesn't move very far, as I didn't expect it to, because every wire is pretty much holding its slack. So I'm gonna have to disconnect practically everything connected to this, and then hopefully at least move it all the way out. These wires that go all the way across, I don't want to remove all of these. I don't even know what they all do, but I need to get to here. I'm getting frustrated now, if you can't tell. Okay, I'm just gonna have to finagle this stuff. I disconnected some stuff, but to remove this completely is way too much stuff. So I'm gonna pull this up as high as I can, so I can at least get around it and finagle it out, because it's gonna take way too much time. I'm not an electrician, and it's starting to get cloudy out here. I don't want it to rain, and I'll be stuck with no car until it stops raining. So let's try to do it the quicker, lazy way. So looking at the new map sensor, I could tell it's just 2 screws, 1, 2. I just gotta figure out what those screws are. They don't look like 10s, they're probably Torx. Okay, for the sake of time and me being lazy and frustrated, I have found a way to finagle around the wiring harness. You can move this up as far as possible after disconnecting a lot of stuff, so you're not tugging on anything, and then I can actually squeeze a mid extension, a T20, that's the part that you need, and a wrench, and just kind of wrench it around the backside. And it's not very effective, but it works, and it beats removing everything ever being touched under this engine. Eventually I will be out, and I have to do this for the other side too, of course. Okay, I finally got both of the bolts loose for the map sensor. Make sure you have your magnets ready. I did not. I got one. The other one dropped. I think it's under my oil pan cover because it did not hit the floor. So to pull it out, I see a rubber grommet and of course a wiring harness, otherwise it wouldn't work. Okay, I need a flathead because it's not moving as freely as I thought it would. Okay, it's off. How you can hear, I'm talking with a flashlight now. There's the harness. And it's out. Comparing it to the old one, this looks really oily. I mean, the car has 128,000 miles on it. I'm sure it's original, so had to go eventually, right? Okay, new sensor back in place. It's just a little rubber grommet, so you just kind of snap it in there, boom, and then put the screws back on, put the car back together. Another key thing for putting that box back on is make sure all your things are back up in a 45-degree angle. You can actually see on the rails where they have little gaps, and that's where your socket goes in. So you also see how tight that is. You know, you got a little bit of a straight gap right here to get these last ones in the corners. So make sure those are lined up before you put that back on. And yeah, just reverse everything you did. Before I put this car back together, I want to show you this little ratchet tool I have that I actually love. It saved me a bunch of times. For when you have areas that are real tight, you don't have a lot of room to do this, it actually twists. I don't know what it's called, but I don't know, find it on Amazon or Walmart. It's actually pretty cheap. It's Stanley, but it works. All right, fast forward. I'll put this car back together. Sorry about that. Battery died. We're back. Everything's put back together now. Intake's back on. Everything's back on and tight. All sensors are plugged up. Hopefully. I don't see any spare parts laying around on the floor or anything, so hopefully I got everything back together. I guess we'll start it up and see what happens now. The light is still on, but it probably needs the reset. So I'll probably either need to reset the check engine light or just drive and see if it goes away. The reason I changed this thing is because it would come on and off. I probably had this light for like 3 or 4 months. It would come on for 3 or 4 days, go away 3 or 4 days, and just come back and forth, back and forth. So I'm like, I don't know what it is. I'm just gonna let it ride until it stops riding. I never noticed like any difference in the way it drives. I started looking it up the other day, and I'm like, okay, what happens if you have a bad map sensor? And it said you lose horsepower and lose gas mileage. So I'm like, okay, I want both of those. So let me go ahead and throw this thing in here. Hopefully his light will go away for good. I want all my horses. I paid for all my horses. I'm gonna cruise around for a little bit and see if this light goes away on its own. I'd rather it go away on its own. That way I know for sure I fixed it. If not, I'll just erase it myself and just hope it never comes back again. All right, drove around the block, still on there, so I'm just gonna clear the code. Boop. And hopefully it never comes back. So in conclusion, was the job really that hard? It was a little frustrating around the end. When you got to the sensor, getting that little sensor out was definitely the hardest part, especially since I lost the screw and had to go find it. That took time too. Tools I used, that's it, one little handful of tools. Time it took, well, I can't count the time because I was trying to teach y'all, so I had to go back and try to explain stuff. And then too, I was learning at the same time, so really it'd probably take me, if I wanted to rush, maybe 2 hours, but I probably took like 5 just to do this job for you. But it's done. It was worth it. Saved me like 600 bucks in labor. Now I get to go eat something delicious because I got money now. Y'all, hey, mind your business. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for watching. Peace out.